amandascorner.com, and today I'm going to do a little workout on the Pilates half Cadillac. It is a very cloudy and cold weekend morning in St. Louis, so I feel the need to just get things moving a little bit. I plan to do a workout with the roll down bar, so you could also do this if you have a tower system against a wall or a Pilates stick. But I don't really have anything particular planned, except I want to get the prana moving, get the energy moving a little bit before I start my day. I have on my WAGs, my wrist assured gloves. It gives you a better grip on the bar and it helps protect the wrist, so I find them comfortable. Okay, if you don't have sticky gloves and you tend to slip on the bar, you can just get a little bit of shelf liner. I use that all the time in class. Just buy a roll of shelf liner, cut off a piece, and you can wrap it around the bar, and that'll give you some additional grip. So I've got my roll down bar sprung from above with 2 springs. I'm going to come parallel against the metal uprights with my feet, and I'm going to start stacked nice and tall. Just going to begin with rolling. I'm going to roll down, inhaling to tuck, start scooping out the belly. I'm going to exhale to come down nice and slow. I'm articulating through the spine. I'm going to come down and just let the bar pull me. So when I'm in this position, my tummy is engaged, but I want everything else to soften, so I get a nice release to the upper body. You're going to keep the chin drawn down in towards the chest, and then we're going to slowly peel up and forward. The tendency for people to pull themselves up is to bend the elbows. They use their arms, so we want to keep the arms very long. We want this to come from the core. So I'm going to inhale to gaze towards the bar, and I'm going to exhale to draw up, still C curving. So it's like I'm peeling each bone up. I'm not going to let the shoulders creep up. I'm not going to bend the elbows. I'm just going to keep the tummy tight and allow it to lift me until I'm nice and tall. If you need to bend the knees to get that lifted position through the spine, please do so. Inhale, rolling back. I'm going to take a full breath to come down, a full breath to come back up. You can also prop something underneath the knees. If you have tight hamstrings, you could use a foam roller, half roller, full roller, blanket, bolster, whatever you have on hand. You're going to inhale, chin to chest, and exhale, begin to peel back up, coming nice and tall. Okay, next time down, I'm going to come down and stay. And then I'm going to turn the head one direction and get a nice stretch. So when I turn my head to the right here, you'll get a release down the left, perhaps side of the neck. It could come down the shoulder. It could come anywhere down the left arm where you feel tight. You might even get some neural symptoms here. If you're stretching neural tissue that's tight, you might feel a little tingling, a little numbness. I think it's okay to breathe into that for a little bit, but if it's very intense or it's not letting up, then it's probably time to release. Slowly come back through center and go the other way. And just relax into it. You can bring some awareness to where you're feeling restricted and visualize sending your exhalation into that area of tightness. Try to dissolve it. We'll come back through center and we'll peel back up. So it's as if we are peeling up a piece of masking tape stuck to a cement floor. Bit by bit, you're going to use the stomach to lift you, coming really nice and tall. Okay, we're going to come down. We're going to start adding some arms, a little bit of arm work now that the spine and the neck and the arms are released. We're going to inhale and lower the bar down towards the body. As we do this, we don't care how far the bar goes. We want it controlled and slow, and we want the wrist straight. There's a tendency to try to get the bar down deeper into this movement by bending or breaking at the wrist, and we want a nice long line. It's like you've got steel splints around the wrist. We want this movement to come closer to the core. Now we're going to inhale and pull the bar in. This is rowing. It's going to come in towards the chest or the throat. Again, we don't really care how far into the body it comes. We want it to come from the right places. So as we do this, we're careful not to creep the shoulders up or strain through the neck or the face. There's a little bit of squeeze to the shoulder blades as you do this movement. Now we'll peel back up with a full breath, coming nice and tall, gazing straight ahead, bending the knees if needed. So we're going to repeat this. We're going to inhale and lower the bar. So again, it may not be a huge movement. As you can see on me, it's not a ton of range, but hopefully I'm keeping my posture. So I'm going to stay really wide across the mid-back and across the chest. I'm not going to round into this movement. My body's going to want to round into it. I'm going to engage the stomach and I'm going to stay lifted. Inhaling the bar down, exhale back up. Now I'm going to roll back just a smidge onto my tailbone, and with my exhale, I'm going to lower again. So this becomes a little bit more of a belly exercise. If you're not feeling it in the stomach, just roll back another notch. So reversing the breath from the first set, we exhale down with this. That will get deeper into the belly. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, we're going to take it back about halfway, and then with an exhale, we're going to pull the bar into the chest. So we're rowing again, squeezing the shoulder blades, inhaling out. So this whole time, trying to keep softness through the upper body, and we're trying to keep the belly hollowed out and tight. There should be no back discomfort through any of this routine. And then all the way down to the table with very long arms. I'm going to inhale and shrug the shoulders up to the ears, and then release and let go. Inhaling up, and like a sigh, just let it go. One more time, and releasing. I'm going to get into the obliques a little bit and make circles. I'll start to my right. I'm going to twist. I'm going to clear the shoulder blades, come through center. I'm tucking that stomach down and in, twist over to the left, and finish with my exhale back down. And then I'm going to reverse directions each time. Inhaling. And exhale. Inhale. I just got to release through my back. That'll help get things moving. Inhale left. Exhale up and around. And releasing down, rolling all the way back up. I'm going to come long over the legs this time, hanging forward. As I do this, I don't care where my arms end up. They just get to hang. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to keep pulling the tummy up and in like I'm rounding over an imaginary ball. And then with a tight stomach, I'm going to use the abdominals to stack me. Lots of internal support, lifting through pelvic floor like I'm raising up against a wall. Good. Okay, so let's change our legs. We're going to bring our legs glued together in the center here. So as I do this, I'm going to zip up through the inner thighs, and I'm going to edge my feet. I don't know how well you can see my feet with the bar here, but I'm going to flex the feet completely and then soften just at the toes. So the whole base of me is very stable and active. I'm going to go ahead and change my grip, so I'm going to have my palms facing up. When I began this, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I have my hands very wide. I have them as wide as the bar. Now I'm going to bring them in line with my shoulders, so I'm drawing them closer together. I'm just going to do a roll here to adjust and accommodate to switching this position. I'm going to keep the legs active, pull up through the pelvic floor like a Kegel exercise. And then I'm just going to release here. So if you'd like, you can turn the head like we did in the beginning. You will likely find a different stretch with this hand grip. This one's a little tighter for me. Back through center and the other way. When you find that stretch, you're welcome to stay there up to 30 seconds. Just breathe into it, try to relax. Come back through center. Then I'm going to peel up halfway with my inhale and exhale, row the arms in very narrow to the body. I'm going to squeeze the shoulder blades. So once more, I want to keep those wrists really straight. Shoulder blades stay down the back. We're always staying integrated at the scapula. We want the shoulder girdle to be really organized here. All movements are purposeful, they're mindful. And then we're going to curl up, come nice and tall from here. I'm going to roll back just a smidge on my inhale. I'm going to exhale to bicep curl. So this is another move where the wrist like to break to get the bar in farther. We don't care about that. We also want to keep the upper arm still. So I like to imagine that from my elbows to my shoulders, I'm resting on a little table. They're not allowed to bend. Again, they're going to try to bend. You're working at different places, and we're just working on the biceps brachii here. And then take it back down. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale to release. 2 more. And curling all the way up, nice and tall. Back to a seated position till the weight's even on the sit bones. I'm going to make right angles through the arms here. I have a little L shape through each arm. I want to maintain that. That's going to stay consistent as I hinge back with my inhale and then exhale up. So I have my arms will be engaged. The further back I go, because the resistance grows. But I'm also working the belly here. I'm working the back. I'm not rolling like the other exercises I showed you. I'm going to stay flat like a board. I'm hinging through that front hip crease. try one more. You don't have to go all the way down. You just take it to where you can control it and you feel the belly, no back pain. I'm going to take the hands a little bit wider now, so I'm opening them back up to the edges, but I'm keeping this underhanded grasp. So I have my arms supinated. I'm going to come all the way down. I'm going to bend both knees and plant my feet into the cushion. So I'm going to come into a half teaser move here, and I'll start with the left leg extended. I'm going to straighten the left leg. I'm going to keep it parallel. I'm going to squeeze the knees together to really draw those inner thighs into the movement. I'm going to inhale, chin to chest. I'm going to take a full breath and slowly curl up. So if you're able to at the end, you can lengthen out, broaden through the chest and the back, and then we'll take a full breath to curl back down. Legs very active, tummy nice and tight. Again, inhale, exhale, and curling back down. The bar allows a little bit of assistance with this move, as well as it provides a little bit of resistance. So it's a different feel than doing this on the floor. Okay, so that was 3 on the left. I'm going to lower the leg down. We're going to extend through the right leg. I want my quadricep active, and then I want my inner thigh active. So I am working that leg. Inhale and exhale. So my right leg is lowered now. This is a little tricky and it can sometimes strain the neck, so you want to be careful. We're going to bring both legs up to a tabletop and inhale, exhale, come up and find the balance. And then roll down. It's the rolling down where sometimes the neck has a hard time. Inhale and exhale. Back down. I'm going to come up and hold the next one and extend out into long legs like a teaser shape. Bend, lower down, plant the feet. Take the legs back out long in front. I'm going to curl up long over the legs again. Spine rounding over as the tummy lifts. Not too concerned with where my arms end up. Just find a stretch. And then rounding all the way back up. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit more obliques here. I'm going to bring my right foot over to the right bar. Left leg's going to crisscross on top. If this is uncomfortable, sometimes if somebody has a really tight hip or IT band, they don't like doing this, you can just set the leg next to it. If you're able to, you'll cross it. I have palms facing down, hands nice and wide. What I'm going to do is twist towards you. I'm twisting to the right. And then I'm going to take the left side of my bar up a little bit higher. And I'm going to roll back with my inhale until I feel that side. And I'm going to exhale up. I'm going to do little pulses here. Inhale back and exhale up. You should feel this. 2 more. Now, I'm going to take this top leg, this left leg, I'm going to point my foot and I'm going to extend it in the air and keep going. And release and come all the way up. I'm going to crisscross my hands now. I have a little X on the bar here in the center. Then I'm going to take the left hand behind the head. I'm going to roll straight back so I'm no longer twisted towards you. I'm going to roll straight back and find a stretch. And then I'm going to come straight back forward. Inhale, chin to chest. I want to keep this left elbow wide and this right arm straight. So again, I'm getting into the obliques as I form this diagonal shape with the body right into the waist. Last time, coming down, and then I'm going to release this left hand, and I'm going to come into a stretch. So if you can reach the side of the table here, you can pull yourself into a nice side stretch. And then you want to let the hands get as far away from each other as possible. You can also pull the top toes back and reach. So I'm reaching through my left heel across the room. That tends to deepen the stretch down by the waist or the side body. So you hold here and you breathe. Again, you want to keep the tummy tight. And you want to try to start to release and let go. This is often a full body stretch. It's often pretty intense for people, so take your time with it. And then as you breathe into it, if your body opens and you're able to move deeper into it, you scoop the upper body more off, and eventually you come into a little bit of like a side back bend, lateral back bend, but I want to try to keep that left hip and sit bone planted. I don't want them to peel up. And I do not want to shift my hips to the right in order to get further over. And then I'm just compromising my stretch in order to get distance. Okay, you want to release out slowly. You want to be gentle with the body, particularly if that's intense for you. And then we're going to curl back up. Inhale and exhale, round back up. So let's repeat that sequence on the other side. I'm going to take my left foot to the left bar. The right foot is going to come on top, but again, you have the option to set next to it. Palms facing down, hands are wide. I'm going to raise the right side of the bar. I'm going to twist over to my left. I'm going to roll back just until I feel that oblique. Then I'm going to exhale and pulse it up a couple of inches. If you're not feeling it, you might want to twist a little bit further to the left or come down a little deeper. I'm going to straighten and lift that top leg and continue with another 6 pulses. And release and come all the way up. Now my hands will crisscross into the center of the bar here. I'm going to take the right hand behind the head, elbow wide, and I'm going to roll down and back. So now I'm rolling square to the mat and square to the front wall. I'm keeping that left shoulder drop down. When that arm wants to help you, either that elbow is going to bend or the shoulder will creep up. You're going to do your best to keep that from happening. Okay, one more time. We'll come down and stretch. Inhale and exhale. And then, if that hand can reach, you'll pull yourself into a side stretch, keeping that right hip planted. You can pull the top toes back. And I like to think of a bird here. I like to think of bird wings spanning as wide as possible. So you're making the biggest wingspan that you possibly can by letting the bar pull this left hand away from you and then reaching with that right hand. And then you're breathing and relaxing into it. So pulling the top toes back towards your shin is just an option. It doesn't feel good to everyone, so just do it if it feels good. And then, as you open into this, if you want to come off a little further, and you're able to, you can let the head hang back. So you wouldn't want to do this if it causes dizziness or lightheadedness. And if you have congestion, it's allergy season here, so if you have congestion in the head, you may not want to hang back. Come back to the center of the table slowly, nice and easy. Hand behind the head, elbow wide. Inhale, chin to chest. And you're going to peel up and forward. Good. Okay, so now we're going to take the bar. We're going to bring it underneath the knees. So it's going to hook underneath your knees. And then it doesn't really matter if your legs are squeezed together or they're open. You just want them comfortable. So I like to have a little bit of space between them. And you're going to start with your neutral with this exercise, but you won't end up keeping it. Just be aware of that. But you're going to keep a tummy tight the whole time. Arms down by your sides, chin tucked down and in. You're going to exhale and curl the knees into the chest. And as you do that, if you come far enough, you'll end up flattening your back, but you're going to really squeeze the belly. You're going to do this until you feel a nice tight contraction down deep and low, so down into your transverse abdominis muscle. So with the exhale, I'm going to curl it in and squeeze. I just have a little pause, and I'm going to set it down very quietly with my inhale. So I exhale, curl in. This should be really small, that should be really intense. Doesn't look like much, but it should be a lot of work. Which is often the case with Pilates. I'm going to try 4 more. And exhale it in, just a little pause. So we're going to hold the next one in. This is number 8. We're going to squeeze it in and pulse. Pulse 2. And release down. That should be work. Okay, I'm going to take it and tuck it behind my ankles. Whenever you are trying to grab a bar with the feet, some people have better luck with the feet really relaxed. Some people like to point and some people like to dorsiflex the feet. Again, it doesn't really matter as far as the exercise goes, how you have your feet. If you're slipping, again, you can try some of the shelf liner and have just a little bit of a sticky grip to help you. So with this exercise, you want to try to line your knee right above your hip. So again, I have like this 90-degree tabletop right angle. I'm going to maintain neutral with this. I won't be pulling the bar in, so I can maintain neutral, tummy tight. What I'm going to do is exhale and bend my knees. I've got my feet about sit bone distance apart, and I'm dropping my heels down towards my bottom and squeezing through the hamstrings, and then inhale, lifting up with control. But all the while, I'm using the muscles around the thighs to stabilize me here, and I'm using the stomach to stabilize through the pelvis. Exhaling down and inhaling up. I'm going to stretch long through my fingers so there's no little teepees through my wrist. Squeezing right through the muscle belly. Inhaling up. If you need more resistance with this, then you would position yourself further away from the bar. That would give you more resistance on your springs. If you need less, you'd scoot in. I'll try 2 more, warming up the hamstrings. Good, and then maintaining neutral, I'm just going to exhale, pull the bar in slightly, and inhale, take it out in front. I think I usually do this a little bit further out so I can get my legs straight. And then taking it out. So you're just riding the bar, but you're maintaining neutral. This is also really, really helpful if you have any hip issues, if you have pelvic alignment issues. This will help guide that femur bone to work properly up into the hip joint. So this can be therapeutic. But I usually like to do it a little further out. I'll show you what that looks like. So, then I can get a little bit lower too, and I get a little bit more belly. And this is where I perform it. But how I did it, the first version, that would be better for somebody who's a beginning student, or maybe somebody who has some hip restriction or pain in the hip, and you need to keep a very narrow range. Inhaling out, exhale, pull in. Good. Okay, let's roll up. We're going to come behind the bar now. I'm going to come to a high kneeling position. I'm going to start with my toes tucked on the edge of the table here. It's kind of a secure place to be. If you need more resistance, then you'll scoot out further. So I've got my knees open about hip distance apart here. And then I'm going to take my bar and I'm going to lower it right to chest level. I'm going to keep my elbows narrow. On my exhalation, I'm going to draw the bar down and forward on the diagonal. And then I'm going to inhale, pull the elbows in narrow, draw the shoulders down, and I'm going to squeeze through the shoulder blades. So I exhale down, low diagonal. And inhale, squeeze it in. So you're drawing a lot of core here to stabilize this. Move. We're going to add on to it. We're going to exhale down on the diagonal. And then inhale, start to lift the bar. You take it to a level where you can control it. You exhale back down to your low diagonal. You finish the same way by squeezing in. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale in. Each piece has a breath. Controlling through the torso, controlling the shoulder blades. One more. And then relax. Okay, so we're going to sort of reverse that. It's still going to be some upper body, but it's going to be a lot more core. And I have a feeling the bar is going to go out of the shot of the camera. But I'm taking the bar straight overhead, and there's no resistance here. My springs are loose and soft, okay? And then I'm going to exhale and lower the bar down to where I can control it. So for me, it's not very far. Lots and lots of tummy. Each time releasing to no resistance. Softness in the elbows. We don't want to lock out the joints. Oh, we're going to try one more. It's a good one. Good. My arms and my belly are tired. So we're going to spin around now. We're going to stay in high kneeling. We're going to come into thigh stretch. Since I have a half Cadillac that converts to a reformer, I've got this crease in the middle of the cushions here, so I like to come behind it. So I'm behind the center point here. It's not comfortable being in the crease, and that gives me just enough help so I can get deep enough into my stretch. I'm going to keep my tush relaxed. Everybody's tush wants to grab with this, but I want my belly to work. I'm going to inhale and hinge back till I feel a stretch to the quadriceps down the tops of the thighs. I'm going to exhale and pull up and forward. So again, I'm trying to stay nice and long. And I want to keep the backside really released. Try to keep the face soft. And then exhale up and forward. Try a couple more. Last time. You want to be careful that this is okay for your knees. Knees are healthy. I'm going to tuck the toes and repeat this. So I'm going to tuck my toes and try to spread them really wide onto the cushion. And then I inhale back. So if you have a lot of tightness through the feet or the toes, you might just feel it in the feet. You might feel it in the feet and in the quadriceps. It might be in a different location in the thighs as the first version. Okay, I'm just going to do one more. My feet are open. I'm not feeling a lot with this today. So I'm going to flatten my feet now. I'm going to sit back onto my heels. And then I'm going to keep my legs together. You can do this with the knees open. If you have knee discomfort, you might find one position easier than the other. But I would not do this if your knees hurt. Let's also flip the hands. It's nice for opening the chest. So we're going to inhale and curl. So now we're rounding back. I'm going to exhale and release completely. Oh, I got another release to my back. That was great. Inhale, chin to chest. Now I just curl up until I'm sitting on the heels. So it's not a huge distance that I'm traveling. Inhale back, exhale. One more. I like to do things in threes. By the third one, you should be nice and open. You should be able to sit into it. Ah, so lovely. Okay, let's do a couple more things. We're going to sit, side sit. I'm going to come past my center crease here again. I don't really mind how you want to stack your legs, but I do want you to try to get shoulders and hips, your Pilates box square to the wall in front of you. You're going to hold the middle of your bar. Other hand's going to come down. So you're just going to slide this hand down. You're going to take a full breath. You're going to come down controlled, and you're going to come down like you're going to take a little nap. You're going to lay the head down. So the goal here is to stretch. It's really intense. You're going to release your arm into this bar. You might get a stretch down the top side of the neck, the shoulder, anywhere down the arm. Then I'm going to inhale the ear to the shoulder first, and I'm going to slide back up to a tall seated position. I'm going to try not to engage the muscles up here. I'm going to try to keep that shoulder dropped and the arm long. Just like the very first version of rolling we did. It's always the rules. If we want this to come through the core, we have to keep the arm relaxed. Let the other muscles engage. So inhaling chin to chest, I'm going to draw that left shoulder down. If you find that arm bending or that shoulder creeping up, scoot yourself out further from the bar. That will give you more support. It'll also give you more pull. So if you get into this and you're just dying and the stretch is way too intense for you to relax into it, scoot yourself in a little bit. Even an inch makes a big difference. Good, okay. So a lot of times people need to scoot out a bit more for the next version. We're going to take this more for strengthening through the obliques again. So we're going to take the hand behind the head. I have no weight on my hand. It's just resting here. I've got the elbow wide. I'm going to plank out nice and long, all the way down for full breath. And I'm going to come down slowly. I'm going to land gently and quietly. If you have space underneath that armpit, you're going to try to decrease that, slide that hand out, the elbow out. So now the elbow's going to pretend like it's attached to your head and you're going to come up. That's the tough part. So besides this shoulder popping up or this arm bending, what I will see people do to try to compensate or to cheat is to rotate in towards the bar when they come up. And they start to use their rectus abdominis. They rotate and come forward because those muscles tend to be stronger. So you want to do your best to have very pure lateral movement here. So imagining that there are panes of glass directly in front and behind you, and you need to stay within this narrow space, gliding right in between the two panes of glass. Let's do one more. Inhale. so you're going to come down just like you did before. And then with the head heavy, you're going to slowly turn it down. Your stretch should change here. Head comes back to center. And just help yourself up gently. We'll turn around and go the other way. So again, I like to start a little bit past the center crease, but it might be different for you. You want to find a spot where you have enough assistance and an appropriate amount of stretch. Come down with a full breath, let the bar pull you. Inhaling ear to shoulder, exhale, sliding up, dropping the shoulder, and staying square to the wall in front. Good, last time like this, coming down and out, let the bar pull you. Really try to release into it. It's a wonderful stretch. You spend a lot of time typing at the computer. You're a student, you do a lot of writing. We're going to take the hips out slightly, hand behind the head, and then we hinge out. So now we're coming into this. You might get a stretch, but the first version, the purpose is the stretch and the release. This version we get a much more demand through the core here. It's more for strengthening. It's not uncommon to find one side to be much easier than the other. But as you do more of these one-sided exercises and you do more Pilates, then that will start to balance. That's really healthier for your body to be in a more balanced state. Strength and flexibility from side to side and front to back. Okay, one more time here. Full breath coming down, landing gently, taking care. And then, so a lot of times people will lift like this, okay? You really want to lift first at that elbow and head. It can be tricky. Final stretch, take it down. Let the head hang, and then slowly turn it down. And breathe, relax. Head comes back into a neutral position, and then a full breath to raise all the way up. Okay, we're going to come high kneeling one more time into the bar, nice and tall. You can have feet flat or toes tucked. If you tend to get foot cramps, you probably want to tuck them here. You're going to inhale and start to draw the bar down in towards the body. Exhale back out. Tummy is zipped up and in. Last thing we're going to do, we're going to step back. We're going to go back into our thigh stretch, but we're going to add on to it and kind of wave the spine like a cat-cow stretch. So we're going to inhale back, exhale up and forward, and then I'm going to dive through the body. I'm going to hollow the stomach. I'm diving into the swimming pool. I'm going to press gently down into my bar to support me here. So this is like a cat-cow stretch, but we draw in a bit more core here as we have to balance. And then I'm going to wave myself back up. And now, actually, I'm going to back bend this time. So I'm going to inhale back. I'm going to exhale up. I'm going to tuck the chin. I'm just going to wave the spine. Articulate through flexion and extension. Grow long, sit bones reach up. And then I'm going to curl it. I'm going to repeat. Inhale, back dive. Exhale up. It should just flow with the breath. It should feel really pretty. It should feel really good. And it really does feel good. I'm going to do one more. While you're here, you can take the hips side to side. You can balance. And then curl up and release. Okay, that was perfect for a cloudy weekend morning. I definitely feel energized. Definitely got things flowing. Got a little life force in me. Maybe you can see it in my face. I definitely feel more energized than when we began. Okay, well, I promised my kids if they would let me work out and they would be quiet, that I would take them to the butterfly house. So that's where I'm off to now. If you have any questions on anything that I did today, or if you want to add anything, any comments, you can feel free to email me at amandascorner@charter.net, and I always enjoy hearing from you. All right, take care. Bye.